Greetings, folks. I'm going to go over a little free lesson today, some tips that you can use if you do arts like Tai Chi Chuan, dance, Kung Fu, Wushu, or any of those other kind of internal arts or physical movement arts. Sometimes people get pain in their legs when they're starting an art like that, especially Tai Chi, because you're using muscles that you haven't used before, or you're using them and rejuvenating them in ways that you have never done before. So they will feel different. First of all, if you have any outstanding pain, always make sure that you do talk to your chiropractic or health medical doctor, physician, or physical therapist, or whoever you see for your aches and pains. If it's just normal aches and pains and there's no other problem, then there's a couple things you can do. A very common complaint is getting pain on the top area of the knee, so above the patella. It's not actually in the joint itself, but above it. If you get pain there, that's probably because your quad muscles in your thigh are getting stronger. Now you have to be careful because at the end of those muscles, the end, especially this large one here, it's called the rectus femoris, you have a lot of tendon tissue, tendinous tissue, and that connects your muscles to your bones. Okay, ligaments connect your bones to your bones. Your muscles are connected by the end point of the muscle. So as the muscle reaches its end point or its insertion point, it gets more and more tendinous. It gets kind of that like white, strong, tight kind of fiber on it, and then that's how it fixes itself to your bones. Now, because you have less blood flow in tendons than you do to muscle tissue, you will have less cellular turnover, which means that it can take longer to heal and pose more pain and pose more risk of having an injury there. So what you need to do is be careful. Don't overdo it. If you're starting to take deep stances or hold stances for a while, you might want to narrow up your stances a little bit and not go as deeply. However, that being said, when you narrow up your stances, do not crumple yourself up. A lot of people who study small circle forms, tight radius forms of Tai Chi, such as Wu Hao form, for example, make the mistake of crunching themselves up. They mistake that as closing and protecting themselves. You still have to have pung there. You still have to have structure. You can't be like an old shriveled up person. It's not good energy. No matter how old or young you are, it's not good for your it's not good for your psychic energy, and it sure as heck is not good for your body. So don't do that to yourself. Okay? So if you're taking, let's say, a deep stance like this, I'm going to do the end of brush knee and twist step from Yang form. Let's say if this is starting to affect you and you feel like, ooh, wow, after class or the next day you feel pain, next time you do it, narrow it up a little bit. Narrow it up a little bit until you don't feel that. Why? Because you need to give your body a chance to heal. When it heals, then you go back to a wider stance. So you have to kind of gauge it. You have to almost calibrate yourself and how far you're ready to go. Another thing you can do is some therapeutic work. I have made another free video on YouTube. Search it. It's called Tai Chi How To, Quick and Easy Way to Treat Knee Pain or Stiffness. And I have another video that's free called How to Tai Chi Straddle Stretch. Now, if you have knee pain inside your knee area and your doctor thinks it's okay for you to still do some movement or to rub that area, ask him about my exercise before you do it. Go ahead and treat that area and pay particular attention to up here, above your patella, above your kneecap, if that's where you feel the pain. So you can friction that out real good, go up and down and across. That's called cross fiber friction, like little plus signs. You're going this way, little tiny movements, and then across. So if you use a single whip hook, or if you brace your finger, if you support your fingers like this, or if you use almost like a leopard claw with your fingertips type of hand structure, you can get in there real good and you can work that out. You've got to be careful. These areas can get hurt very easily and inflamed very easily. So if after Tai Chi class you feel pain, friction it out, and then what I suggest, immediately ice it. Even in Chinese medicine, they like to put heat, they like to put moxibustion and different, cupping and acupuncture there. But still, right out of the gate, ice it. You've got to get that hyperinflammatory response down. Doesn't matter if you're far away from your Tai Chi class. Yes, you can still ice it. What can you do? If you're far away or if you're coming from work, keep an ice pack in the freezer. Put it in one of those little insulated lunch totes. Bring it along to class. It'll be fine. If that's too difficult for you, try to find maybe a hotel or a restaurant on your way or right after class that can give you some ice. Put it in a bag. Bring a Ziploc baggie or something like that and ice it. Okay? If you don't have any way to store ice at your school, put it in a little lunch tote. It's all right if it defrosts a little bit. But get that cold on there as soon as possible. If you're commuting, driving, taking a bus or train, get one of those little sort of elastic ace bandages and put it on lightly. Don't ice it too much, 5 or 10 minutes maximum. Take it off, friction out the area, stick it on again, and so on and so forth. That's what they do in some forms of sports massage. And sports massage is given to athletes who make millions of dollars, so when they come off the field, they get their treatments. Why? Because it preserves them. It preserves their performance. You can do the same thing to yourself. The straddle stretch is important because a lot of times your knee or your leg structure, if it's tight, it'll do this. Especially if you're tight in here. These are called your adductors. There's a whole group of muscles. It comes down from your groin up in here by your pelvis, and it goes all the way down the inside part of your thigh. This is called the dang in Chinese, D-A-N-G, dang. And it's the crotch area, but also the inner part of the thighs. So if that's tight, what you'll notice is things like that, people starting to cave in. It also could mean that the supporting muscles on the other side are weak. So what you want to do is first stretch it out. And of course, watch your stances. Don't let your knee go past your toe, and don't let it cave in or out from the vertical line of your toes. So be careful of that. Use a lot of friction. You can also friction in here if you have tightness or if you've ever had groin pulls or injury. Friction out that section of the tendon or the muscles. It's really important because when you friction those areas and you're massaging those areas, you're bringing that needed blood supply that can bring more nutrition and turn those cells over and heal them faster. Okay? And like I said, if you have any kind of pain or swelling, ice first. Then if you do moxibustion or if you get that kind of treatment from an acupuncturist or a chiropractor or whoever you go to, then you can continue on with those treatments. All right, so those are some tips. If you get cramps back here in your calf muscles and your gastrocnemius, your soleus, and all those good areas, you can, of course, massage it out, but you can also stretch it out. So a real quick and easy way is if you take that leg, put it as far back as you can on the toe, and then slowly lower the heel like that, so that this is all stretching out back here. Massage it, make sure you're getting proper nutrition, potassium, magnesium, vitamin E, C, all that stuff. Talk to your nutritionist about that. And make sure you are hydrated. I've seen a lot of people take my classes and they'll be doing a lot of Tai Chi, we'll be doing it for a couple of hours, maybe they even sweat a little bit, and then during break, they don't drink anything. And I'm thinking, my gosh, how much did they drink through the whole day? And maybe they were drinking coffee or strong tea or cola, and the caffeine is a diuretic, and that actually takes water out of you. In that case, make sure you hydrate. That can also, it's like a miracle cure. That can eliminate pain. Don't drink ice cold water. Drink either room temperature water or some kind of tepid, comfortable warm tea. That's good, and dilute it. Don't have it so hard and strong. That's not good for you. And alcohol, forget it. That will really dry you out and turn you into a shriveled up prune if you keep drinking that. So you've got to always hydrate afterwards, all right? So those are a couple of tips you can use. Any area, friction it out in the tendinous areas or the ligamentous areas, ice, and see your healthcare provider if you have continued pain or problems. Work on your stances, work on your structure. And remember, pain is not always bad. Don't freak out about it. Pain is simply a sign of change. It could be a good change or it could be a bad change, but very often it's a good change. It means that things are restructuring inside of you. That's a good thing, but it also is a lesson to you that at that point you have to scale back a little bit. Okay? It's the same thing like if you're redoing your house and you rip the roof open because you want to put an addition on. That's great. You're going to have a house you enjoy more space, whatever, but you also have to protect it. Okay? You can't just leave it open and then if there's a rain or a snowstorm, you don't care because then everything will get damaged inside, right? Well, it's common sense. Don't be a weekend warrior. Do not let your ego get in the way. Make sure that you just think very logically, very peacefully, and spiritually about it. Take that change, embrace it, but respect it. And know that you can do a lot to help yourself too. Don't be a victim of yourself. Okay, so take care of yourself. Enjoy your arts. Use them to build yourself, not damage yourself. Good luck.